Hey everybody, Roz and
What's up, y'all?
we wanted to come today and talk to you guys. We talked yesterday about three things that has really helped us to maintain a happy relationship.
Yeah.
And so today we wanted to talk about, and one of those things yesterday was forgiveness.
Right.
So today we wanted to come back and just elaborate a little bit on forgiveness and how to forgive.
Right. And a lot of times, we understand things happen.
Yep.
Knowing that the person that you're married to isn't a perfect
Spouse.
And people mess up.
Mm-hmm.
People make bad decisions. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, due to those bad decisions and those mess up, it affects the other spouse.
Right.
And it can cause some hurt feelings.
Right. And so it's important that we learn how to forgive each other and not to just look for a way out of our marriage, but because that's the easy route.
That's the easy route.
It's easy to say, well, you did this, so I'm just going to leave you.
Right.
But when you have a marriage that's worth fighting for, then you fight for it.
And we just want to give you some things to think about, mm-hmm. some tips to help you fight for your marriage. Mm-hmm. So number one, when it comes to forgiveness, we must what?
We have to decide to love.
You have to make a decision to love. Mm-hmm. You have to decide to love, and especially when we're talking about love in the biblical sense.
Right.
The word agape. That's really a decision. It has absolutely nothing to do with feelings. Mm-hmm. It's really a decision. You're making a committed decision to love someone in spite of.
Right.
And the Bible tells us love covers a multitude of faults.
Right.
That kind of love,
mm-hmm.
making a decision to love, even when it's hard,
mm-hmm.
to love someone and they may have done something that was really put them in an unlovable position.
Right.
But making a decision to really love them in spite of
right.
will help with that forgiveness process.
Right. You have to make a decision.
Got to make a decision.
Another one I think would be, so when you have those moments where your spouse has messed up and you're trying to get over whatever the hurt is, sometimes we have a tendency to have things that may trigger old emotions that's connected to that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
There may be times where you just have thoughts and images of things that of that hurt, whatever
right.
it was.
Right.
So what we oftentimes have a tendency to do is to focus in on that hurt, to
right.
focus in on those thoughts and those images that we play over and over and over in our minds.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is it ends up causing more damage to our marriage than good.
Right.
So when you find yourself in those moments where you are having those thoughts and images floating through your minds, don't meditate on them.
Right.
Try to find something about your spouse or your marriage that you absolutely love and then focus on that thing, because
right.
it takes your mind to a good place. It takes your place to a calming place.
Right.
And helps you to kind of, come back to
right.
where you are. Yeah.
Exactly. Because your meditation, that what you meditate on, that's where you're going to react.
Right.
You're going to react to your meditation.
Right.
And if you're thinking about those things, and if there has been a trigger,
mm-hmm.
most definitely make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Make another decision.
Right.
Make another decision to not focus in on those things
mm-hmm.
and choose to focus in on something
mm-hmm.
positive.
Mm-hmm. Because meditation will cause you to move in that direction.
Right.
Whatever it is you're meditating on.
As a man thinketh in his heart.
Yep. So is he.
Yep. All right. So what else
another thing would be, this is a good one because we do this. I know a lot of people that do this. Don't try to plan I'm gonna get you back.
Oh, revenge.
Eye for an eye.
Oh man. Yeah, that revenge mode. Yeah,
it's gotten a lot of people in trouble.
A lot of people. A lot of marriages that really could have been good marriages
mm-hmm.
have failed to come to because of revenge.
Right.
And y'all, when you love somebody, that's why that decision to love,
mm-hmm.
love takes away revenge.
Right.
And it's not love absolutely has nothing to do with getting somebody back.
Right.
No, and as a matter of fact, you wanna repay good.
Right. Right.
And so you don't want to have that state of revenge, because that'll kill you.
And you have to understand that regardless to whether you believe in the Bible or not,
yeah,
the principles of the Bible still work.
They're literally universal truths.
They are. And
Uh-huh.
so what you sow, you reap. But the world
Karma.
says it, yeah.
Karma.
What comes around goes around.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you have to be really careful when you do that, when you have that mindset of revenge, because you have to understand that what you do comes back to you.
Right.
And oftentimes it comes back to you a lot worse than what you put out there.
Uh-huh.
So you have to be really careful about that revenge thing.
And the ditch you dig for somebody,
you might
you'll
fall in it yourself.
Right. So, you want to make sure, leave that revenge out. And really, if you get to that point, it's really good at that moment. I believe you really need to talk to somebody. If you have a pastor you can talk to.
Somebody that's going to give you some good advice.
Good advice, right. Don't go to that friend that's talking about, girl, I help you, man. Let's roll up on. No,
Right.
leave that one alone.
Right.
Leave that one. Don't go to that family member. Yeah, run from that one. Go to the one that's going to give you some good, sensible advice.
Right. And then another thing would be, as you move forward in your relationship, of course, things are going to come up.
Right.
So don't throw that back up in your spouse's face. Once you have decided to forgive,
Right.
then don't go back and pick it up. And then every time something
Use it as a
happens,
weapon.
you cutting them up. You cutting them, you stabbing them. And
Right.
so don't go back and pick it up and continue to throw it. Don't, keep a record.
That's it. And don't keep a record of it. But don't try to manipulate your spouse
Oh, that's good.
by their past mistakes.
Right.
Don't manipulate them. Because that feeling of resentment you have, you're going to pass that
Oh,
along.
absolutely.
So now both of y'all are resentful.
Right.
Because you're resentful for the hurt.
Right.
But now they're resentful because you keep bringing it up.
Right.
And trying to manipulate them
Right.
from their
That's
past.
so true.
Yeah.
And then let me just throw this in before we close.
Mm-hmm.
The one that has caused the hurt, you got to understand you're just going to have to be patient. Because whatever you did to cause it, you now got to try to help to repair.
Right.
So it doesn't just because you apologize and you apologize sincerely does not mean that takes away the hurt that other person is feeling.
Right.
It helps them to start the forgiveness process
Uh-huh.
when you really truly and sincerely ask for forgiveness
Right.
and apologize and accept what you've done.
Right.
But it does not take away the hurt. So the
Right.
hurt and rebuilding is definitely a
time.
process.
It
Yes.
takes time, so you got to be patient. Don't
be
be
patient.
that person talking about, well, I apologize.
Exactly.
You need to get over it.
Because then I'm mad all over again.
Man, come on. Don't play that card either. Be patient.
Be patient.
And do everything you can do to rebuild that trust. Because, man, literally, trust takes years to build.
Takes seconds to tear down, but years to rebuild.
Yeah, so you got to be patient, and you got to work through it. And the forgiveness process, it'll work.
It will.
It'll work. It'll come through, and you will be glad
It'll work if you work it.
if you work it. And you'll be glad that you hung in there and you applied some of these steps.
Right.
So hopefully this was a blessing to you.
Okay, I forgive you for not bringing me some lunch today.
Like I said, now, you see there?